Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome back to Rolex Reviews. Today, we're looking at the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date, reference 118205 18-karat Everose rose gold 36mm twin lock case. This Rolex Day-Date is, like all the watches featured on our YouTube channel, actual inventory in stock and available for immediate purchase and delivery on our retail website, watchyouwant.com. And if you like getting the latest news, views, and reviews in daily video format, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, this watch has been the choice of power brokers the world over since its 1956 debut, and I can't think of a better watch with which to reintroduce our Rolex review series. 36mm in 18-karat Everose rose gold. It fits beautifully on my 6 1/3 inch, 16cm circumference wrist. Now you can see the typical oyster style case is more of a cushion than a round case, so it wears far larger visually than its nominal 36mm. It's really not a round watch in any sense, as the tapered lugs flow into a gorgeous integrated solid end link and straight into the 3-link classical Rolex President bracelet, which nicely counterweights the case in combination with the swing arm Rolex crown clasp right here. Now this is the 2003 to present crown clasp, so it's more massive, it's sturdier, and it features the articulated, and let me give you a view of that, but it features the articulated Rolex 5-point coronet that has historically acted as the parting point for the bracelet. The real change when I talk about the 2003 to present is that it's just a more substantial piece in the hand. It's burlier, it's got that all-of-a-piece, almost milled-out feel to the swing arm that you associate with the 2005 to present Rolex milled-out oyster clasps and oyster lock clasps on the sports watches. It's worth mentioning that this generation of Day-Date, the 6-digit reference series with the latest solid center link, solid end link, and 2003 to present clasp, are actually about 35 to 40% heavier than their 5-digit solid gold full bracelet predecessors. So on the wrist, this watch does have the sensation of a much more massive timepiece. It has that precious metal premium pull that you associate sometimes with watches in platinum. It's just that dramatic, and it's that dramatically more substantial than the watch that came before it, even though visually it has all the same proportions. Now what I really like about this watch is that this one combines some of the classic elements of the Day-Date with some rather unconventional elements that set this particular example, the 118205, apart. Now you can sort of break down what's classic. Aside from prototypes, the Day-Date since '56 has always been a precious metal watch. Now generally, its most iconic iteration has been some form of gold with the full President bracelet. While this watch has appeared on leather straps, Jubilee, and oyster bracelets, it's this 3-link President that really defines the entire line. While the watch is nicknamed the President, the bracelet truly is named the President by Rolex, and this latest President with the solid center links is exquisitely finished. Exquisite finish means that the shoulders are polished. It means that the flanking outer links feature brushed tops and the center links are all polished. Contrast is achieved. Beautiful contrast. In spite of the fact that the watch is all rose gold, there's no sense of visual monotony. Every element is articulated, distinct, and differentiated, sometimes by form, sometimes by finish, but Rolex takes what could be an overwhelming mass of gold and wields it with a deft artisan's eye. Now the nice thing about Rolex is it does make its own alloys, and when I talk about the unconventional elements of this particular example, I have to mention the Everose rose gold, because rose gold historically on the Day-Date is something that is infrequently seen. Phased out in about 1974, it didn't return to the line until the debut of the 6-digit reference Day-Date in the early 2000s, and in 2005 Rolex revitalized the look with Everose. A higher copper content as well as a higher platinum content. It's both richer in appearance than conventional rose gold and less likely to fade over time thanks to the higher, essentially oxidation-proof platinum elements. So you get a watch that is richer in its red tones, but also unlikely to fade to a yellowish sort of aged pink color, as many conventional rose gold alloys will. This is a more resistant alloy, and that's part of the advantage of buying a Rolex, because they are a complete manufacturer, they do own their own foundry, they control every production step from the actual metallurgical science to the final finishing. So it's their alloy, it's their production process, their case, their movement, their dial, even their own hands. So there's an integrity to the whole that arrives via vertical integration, and Rolex is one of the very few in the industry that boast that degree of thoroughness. Now, moving on with the unconventional elements that distinguish this 118205, it's worth mentioning how the reference number breaks down. 118, of course, references the latest Rolex Day-Date. Now, the 2, of course, means you've got this metal bracelet, and the 0 refers to this domed bezel. Very distinct from the fluted bezel conventionally seen on the Day-Dates. The domed bezel is smooth, seamless, and it flows upward from these gorgeous, sort of bowed out, rounded case flanks. So it creates a more massive appearance. It doesn't have the notches of the fluted precious metal bezel. And historically, whenever you see fluting on a Rolex bezel, that means that at the very least, that bezel is made of precious metal. But the rounded look creates an entirely different aesthetic. It's a little bit more formal, and in my opinion, it's more distinct, it's more unique, and it's more intriguing. It forces you to do a double take because you're so used to seeing fluting on these Rolex gold bezels. Moving inward, you see another unconventional element, the combination of applied rose gold Roman numerals, certainly less common than baton indices on the Rolex Day-Date faces, but also a rich gloss, almost radiant, white lacquer dial. That combination of the applied rose gold elements, the rose gold hands, the applied rose gold 5-point coronet really stands out. Now I can tell you that what this dial does, because it is lacquer, it is a rich, lustrous, almost enamel-like substance, it creates the impression that it's backlit. It seems to amplify the ambient light no matter where you are. Now even looking at it indoors in my light box under artificial lighting, it seems brighter than all surrounding features. It seems brighter to my eye than this white backing I've created, and it seems to really jump. In direct sunlight, it explodes. It also has the impression of depth. With lacquer, it looks like it's always wet. It's not like a sunburst or a matte silvered finish. It really has a secondary life to it that adds a lot of character to the watch. And in combination with this sector or railroad train track minute scale around the exterior of the dial, the outer circumference, it has great definition that adds just enough detail to animate this broad expanse of lacquer. Just enough and not too much. Now moving on, you can see those signature elements of the Day-Date, the day and the date. In 1956, this was the first watch ever to incorporate automatic winding, water resistance, and a day and a date. But it wasn't until about 1989, with the debut of the double quickset feature, that the watch worn by the power brokers finally acknowledged that time is money, and if you're a head of state, a VIP, business leader, your time is valuable. So Rolex created the double quickset so you wouldn't have to wheel endlessly to advance the date if you did need to correct the watch. By turning the crown clockwise, you can change the date with a quickset, and by turning counterclockwise, you can change the day with a quickset. Thus, the double quickset day-date. Now, of course, I'll demonstrate here, since I've got the crown out, that this watch also features Rolex's signature, hacking seconds. Hacking seconds essentially allows you to synchronize a watch to the second via a reference time, such as an atomic clock, a known accurate quartz watch. Any time source that you know to be precise, you can synchronize the seconds simply by starting it when the seconds between the reference and the watch in your hand line up, and then you restart it. This type of precision befits a Swiss COSC certified chronometer. This is the caliber 3155, entirely in-house by Rolex, down to the hairspring. This movement features not just the double quickset and not just the hacking mechanism, but a full balance bridge anchored at both corners to attenuate shock, as well as a Breguet overcoil hairspring in Rolex's signature Parachrome blue alloy. The nice thing about that is that it means you essentially have a sports watch grade movement that is exceptionally durable, exceptionally accurate, and also very resistant to positional timing variations, so you can leave the watch at any angle on your dresser at night and not have to worry about too much deviation. Likewise, Parachrome blue is exceptionally thermally resistant, so hot and cold won't change the timing of your watch dramatically, and anti-magnetic, so modern office environments with high-density electronic flux, subwoofers, and high-powered speakers, essentially the modern home or office electronic environment, are not likely to magnetize the hairspring of your watch. That's a major problem with older mechanical watches in modern homes and offices, not so with this caliber. Now, Rolex does go the extra mile, and they COSC certify, or effectively check to COSC standards, once the COSC certified movement has been put in the case. The COSC test is a test of a bare movement. I can't overemphasize that. So most manufacturers, or certificate seekers, I should say, because not all who certify actually make the movement, they take the COSC certified movement and then they put it in the watch. A lot can change in that process. Rolex takes the certified movement, puts it in the watch, and then double checks to ensure not just water resistance and COSC timing accuracy, but they also check for things like shock resistance and power reserve. So COSC as a movement, but also COSC as a complete watch. That's one of the distinctions that sets Rolex apart. So we have a watch here that embodies a lot of the best of Rolex past and present. You have the heritage of the Day-Date, a classical upscale flagship Rolex model. You have the latest rose gold, the latest bracelet, the latest case, the latest movement in the Day-Date, as well as the latest clasp. You have a look that's a little bit unusual with the rose gold, with the domed bezel, with the lacquered Roman numeral dial, and of course you have that classical Rolex chronometer grade automatic winding sports watch integrity inside the 100-meter water resistant case. And if all that sounds good to you, if you're looking for one flamboyant but classically proportioned watch that really does it all, check out this Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date, the President, reference 118205, on our retail website, watchyouwant.com.